We will go ahead and call the Senate Appropriations Committee to order this morning. We've got the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, I think Ag and Corrections. Is that right? I don't know where Adam went. Is that right, Sarah? Yes? Okay. So why don't we get started, just because I think we've got the books situated this way on our desks for our robust committee this morning. We'll start with the Department of Labor. And then just a quick reminder, unless committee members have specific questions as we go through this, we generally just ask the departments to hit on core changes and new decision items. Okay?
Should I do my opening statement?
If you want to, sure.
Great.
Welcome.
All right. I think I need a booster seat. Sorry. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, and members of the committee. Good morning again. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present the FY26 budget request for the Missouri Department of Labor and Industrial Relations. I'm Anna Hugh, Department Director, and with me at the table is Julie Kuhn, our agency's Chief Fiscal Officer. In addition, some members of our executive team are also here with us today. Department Deputy Director Matt Hankins, Division of Employment Security Director Alan Andrews, Division Workers' Compensation Acting Director Ben Qualls, Missouri Commission on Human Rights Executive Director Dr. Elisa Warren, the Labor and Industrial Relations Commission Chairman Rodney Campbell, and the department's legislative liaison Stephen Marion. This year's budget request is for $384.6 million and 788.63 FTE. The funding sources are 1.22% GR, 29.5% federal, and 69.28% other funds. Starting with the Department Director's Office, which includes administration, the Office of General Counsel, communications, and strategic planning, we have 51.63 FTE and are funded through a combination of sources, including GR, federal funds, and other funds. These units provide the services that support the entire agency in the areas of accounting, budget, communications, facilities management, human resources, legal services, procurement, staff training, strategic planning, supplies, and website management. Doler's largest division is the Division of Employment Security, led by Director Alan Andrews, with 519.72 FTE and is almost completely federally funded. DES administers unemployment benefits, disaster unemployment, shared work, the war on terror unemployment benefits, collection of unemployment insurance taxes, and employment training. Starting calendar year 2023, the division's Unemployment Automation Fund began receiving funds. These funds allow the division to maintain a modernized, secure, efficient, and customer-friendly platform for the unemployment insurance program now and into the future. Utilizing this fund along with federal funding, DES has moved UInteract, Missouri's web-based unemployment insurance program, to the Amazon cloud to improve system performance and scalability, making UInteract the largest Missouri state government application hosted in a cloud environment. We are currently in the process of modernizing the system foundation, which will strengthen the agency's ability to continually innovate. Not only has the division continued its commitment to a modern, responsive unemployment insurance program for all Missouri citizens, it's also committed to maintaining the proper balance between the health of the UI Trust Fund and the tax levied on employers that fund the program. I'm excited to report that in calendar year 2025, a 12% rate reduction will be applied for the majority of contributing employers, and the taxable wage base for employers will be reduced by $500 to $9,500 for calendar year 2025. The department's second largest division is the Division of Workers' Compensation, led by Acting Director Ben Qualls with 139.25 FTE and is supported by other funds, primarily the Workers' Compensation Administration Fund. This division is responsible for assisting injured workers and their employers, resolving disputes between workers, employers, and insurers, the Tort Victims Compensation Program, line of duty payments, second injury fund claims, and adjusting the workers' compensation surcharges. The DWC continues to work on Work Comp Connect, a multi-year modernization project to streamline processes and automate many facets of the Work Comp program, improving citizen engagement with the division and efficiency across all the administration of the program. Phase 1 scheduled to go live in December of 2025 and will include functionalities for case management, medical fee disputes, adjudication, benefit administration, and order entry. Our third largest division is the Division of Labor Standards, led by Director Logan Hobbs, with 37.22 FTE and funded through GR, federal funds, and other funds. It's comprised of the Wage and Hour Division that covers youth employment, minimum wage overtime, and prevailing wage, 3 workplace safety programs, on-site safety and health consultation program, worker safety program, mine and cave safety program, as well as our research and analysis unit. The Safe at Work program, which is a collaboration between the divisions of workers' compensation and labor standards, is in its 5th year, resulting in workplace data and informational publications that provide businesses educational materials on how to improve their workplace safety. The Mine and Cave Safety Program continues to offer training to miners, mine owners, operators, and contractors, and the On-Site Safety Consultation Program visits workplaces to partner with them to identify and correct hazards and award Missouri businesses that model exemplary safety standards. The next 3 units are 3 independent commissions for which Doler handles all administrative functions. First is the Missouri Commission on Human Rights, headed by Executive Director Dr. Elisa Warren, has 25.7 FTE and receives both GR and federal funds. This independent commission works to eliminate discrimination in housing, public accommodations, and employment. They investigate complaints of discrimination in those 3 areas and enforce the Missouri Human Rights Act. They also work with the independent Martin Luther King Commission. The State Board of Mediation is led by Acting Chair Logan Hobbs, and it has 1.5 FTE and is GR funded. They work with public employers and employees on the designation of the employee groups who wish to be represented by unions, hold certification elections, and certify the election results. Our appellate body is the Labor Industrial Relations Commission, chaired by Rodney Campbell, and has 13.59 FTE and is funded by a combination of GR, federal, and other funds. The LIRC handles appeals from administrative decisions in workers' compensation, unemployment compensation, tort victims compensation, and prevailing wage. As Governor Kehoe mentioned in his State of State address, he expects his administration to work at the speed of business. To meet that objective, our focus as a department has been to utilize data-driven solutions to better meet the needs of our citizens and to prepare and address the challenges before us. This not only means including an emphasis on program administration, solution innovation, and delivery of benefits and services, but also a concerted effort to provide impactful improvements and support our state workforce. We are thankful for the investments Governor Kehoe has proposed to improve compensation, benefits, and professional development opportunities that make a difference in state workforce retention, recruitment, succession planning, and professionalism. These all provide resourcing and support to deliver good, consistent citizen service. I'm proud of the work we've done and are doing better to serve people across Missouri, improve program administration and access through technology, and foster a culture of professionalism and excellence in our workforce. We'll now present the department's FY26 budget with all the NDIs that were in Governor Kehoe's proposal. At this time, I invite Julie Kuhn to assist me with continuing the budget presentation, and we can answer specific questions as we go through the budget.
Thank you, Director Hugh. Just to clarify real quick, I think you welcomed our ranking minority member. She's not actually
She's
here.
not here yet.
No.
Okay.
But Rusty's here. He's the vice chair.
Yes, Vice Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Julie,
very
whenever
much.
you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, committee members. My name is Julie Kuhn. I'm the Chief Fiscal Officer for the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations. Before we get started going through the department's budget book, I would like to cover the department's flexibility request and summarize the overall core reductions found in our FY26 request. The department's flexibility includes 10% for the Division of Labor Standards Programs, State Board of Mediation, Commission on Human Rights, the Labor Industrial Relations Commission, as well as in FY26, the department's also asked for 10% flexibility for the Division of Workers' Compensation Funds. The department also has 25% flexibility for the Division of Employment Security and is requesting 25% for the Division of Labor Standards on-site program. The department's overall core reductions in the FY26 budget total $22 million in federal and other funds and $200,000 of general revenue. The department's first new decision item can be found on page 2 of your budget book. This is the department's statewide time of service adjustment for full-time state employees. Includes a 1% increase for every 2 years of state service with a cap at 10% for 20 years of state service. The governor recommends this new decision item totals $838,451 of general revenue, federal, and other funds. The second new decision item can be found on page 9 of your budget book. This is the general revenue pickup item for the statewide pay plan just discussed. The request is needed from general revenue due to fund solvency issues or federal funds that just have not been awarded through our grants. The governor's recommendation for this totals $1.7 million of general revenue. Our first core item with changes can be found on page 13, or I'm sorry. The next new decision item is found on page 20 of your budget book. This is the new decision item for the Doler Department Director salary increase. It provides appropriation authority to increase the salary for our department director, and the governor's recommendation totals $10,000 in federal funds. Our first core item with changes is the administrative fund transfers. They can be found on page 22 and 29 of your budget book for a combined total of $16 million. This core does include some reallocations between federal and other funds that just align the authority with planned spending based on our timesheet data and our approved cost allocation plan. On page 35, the Labor Industrial Relations Commission totals $1.2 million of general revenue, federal and other funds, and 13.59 FTE. This core, too, also has core reconciliations between federal and other funds that are going to align with planned spending based on our approved cost allocation plan. Let's see. The next core with new decision item is found on page 83. This new decision item is for the administrative law judge salary increase. The new decision item totals $50,000 in other funds and is to adjust the salary for the administrative law judges to align with the associate circuit court judge salaries.
So can I ask a question there? So we've got an additional increase for the ALJ's salary on top of the governor's up to 10%?
So the ALJ salaries are statutory set salaries,
Right.
and they're not included in
Oh,
the
so they're not
statewide.
included on,
Right.
see, I feel like we've included them on the increases,
Previous
right?
years.
Yes.
Yep.
Aha.
Yep.
So
All
they're
state employees.
statutorily tied unless we appropriate extra money, which we've done historically.
So there's been years where there's been an increase that included the ALJs and years that weren't. The last couple of years, increases did in fact include,
Right.
because they were all state employees,
Right.
but this time did not.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
You bet. Our next core decision item with changes includes the Workers' Compensation Administrative Fund, Second Injury Fund. The governor's recommendation for this core is for $75 million of other funds and no general revenue. It does include a reduction of $10 million due to decreasing Second Injury Fund claim payments. The next core with changes is found on pages 97 and 103. This is the line of duty compensation transfer and payment core. The FY26 budget includes a reduction of $200,000 to align the authority with the anticipated spending. The next core with changes includes the Division of Employment Security Administration is found on page 122. The governor's recommendation totals $81.4 million of general revenue, federal and other funds. And in FY26, we're requesting a reduction of $12 million in federal funds due to the CARES Act funds administration dollars that have now ended. And that is the last core with changes from last year's budget.
Fantastic. Any questions from the committee? Seeing none. Appreciate it. Director, thanks for being here. Thanks, Julie. Next up on my stack of books here is Ag. Chris, whenever you're ready. Director Chin. Morning, Director.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you to the chairman and members of the committee for allowing us to be here this morning. Agriculture is a $93.7 billion industry. At the Department of Agriculture, we have 5 divisions and 4 boards and commissions. I think most of the members here have heard about the Agriculture Committee or the Department of Ag before, so if it's okay, I will skip the department overview unless you want me to continue
Nope,
on.
I think that's great.
Okay, so we will hand it over to Amanda Kelly, my budget director, and let her start.
It's a familiar face to some of us on the committee who you stole from us.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Good morning, committee. Amanda
Morning, Amanda.
Kelly, budget director. We'll start with the first NDI, the statewide pay plan on page 2. The governor recommended a total of $850,358 for the time of service pay increase. On page 8, a GR pickup for the statewide pay plan. This is 374,840 GR to support funds that require additional revenue, helping to cover the costs of the time of service pay plan. On page 20, we have an NDI for Microsoft license costs. The governor did not recommend this NDI.
And the license is going to expire?
No, so we were all required to get Microsoft Office and then the update, and so this was an NDI to cover some of those costs. What we found out was that OA ITSD actually put in an NDI to cover some of these costs, so this wasn't necessary. The remaining amount that they didn't get for us to cover in FY25, they are going to request for in FY26 as well.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Amanda.
Welcome. On page 22, we have an NDI for the Resilient Food System Infrastructure Grants. This NDI is for the remaining $6.1 million federal authority for the 4-year cooperative agreement to be expended on middle of the supply chain equipment and infrastructure grants. The application process was complete in March of 2024. We have applicants scored and submitted to USDA. Once we receive the full spending authority, we will have approximately 2 years left for awardees to complete these projects and get this funding expended. On page 25 is an NDI for the director's salary increase. The governor requests a total of $10,000 utilizing federal and other funds. On page 76 is an NDI for the FFA Foundation. The governor recommendation is for 800,000 GR to go towards the competitive local secondary school grants for update or improvement needs to support existing high school agriculture education programming or to launch new high school agricultural education departments and programming. On page 121 is our animal health core. This isn't actually, it shows that there was a $100,000 reduction in the request for federal authority. I just wanted you guys to know this wasn't actually a reduction. Something in the system made a change and it didn't actually reduce our one time from last year, and so they had to do a push between the department rec and the gov rec to remove that. So the gov rec is what actually we ended with in FY25.
That has nothing to do with that new accounting software movers.
I mean, just a little bit maybe.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. On page 130, we have an NDI for reduction correction. The governor requested GR of $59,260 to correct a reduction that stayed in the budget when the NDI was removed in FY25. This NDI was for our meat and poultry inspection team. The funding source was GR, changed to APF, back to GR, and back to APF. And then all those funds switched when it got vetoed and everything, it didn't get removed. So our core got reduced when it shouldn't have. And this is just to correct that. Okay?
Was that another movers issue?
No,
Okay.
that one's not. On page 136, we have an NDI for the meat and poultry inspection team. The total $330,871 for FTE will allow the program to expand so that they can meet the demand of inspections being requested through the state of Missouri. We have approximately 6 establishments who have submitted applications and 9 establishments that would like to increase coverage. On page 140 is an NDI for a disease control specialist within the Animal Health Division. This request for $105,822.01 FTE recommended by the governor is to assist with demands in preparation and response to animal disease events. There is an NDI for replacement vehicles for meat and poultry inspection team on page 144. This NDI was not recommended by the governor. On page 147, we have an NDI for the federal authority in the Animal Health Division. The recommendation from the governor is for $900,540 of federal authority. This will allow the division to add 2 annual federal agreements and to extend 3 agreements and then to finalize the NOLN American Recovery Plan agreement that had a delay in spending. On page 179, we have an NDI for a core increase in the grain inspection services. This recommendation is for 75,000 GR to cover the increased cost of supplies with the declining export markets where the program receives its revenue. This request is to moderate fee increases to Missouri farmers and commercial grain industry. On page 217 is an NDI for a vehicle replacement authority in the Weights, Measures, and Consumer Protection Division. This request is for $275,850 to replace 4 trucks used by the inspectors in the Fuel Device Safety and Accuracy Program. On page 239 is another NDI, and this is to increase spending authority for the Missouri State Fair. This request for $300,000 of appropriation authority recommended by the governor is to help cover the increased costs from inflation, general contract rebids, the new arena, the new campsites, and general maintenance to support operations. And our remaining NDI is on page 242, and that is for 2 additional maintenance grounds workers at the Missouri State Fair. This recommended by the governor to help with upkeep, general maintenance around the fairgrounds, and assistance with maintenance in the new arena and campsite areas. And with that, that is the Department of Agriculture's NDIs. Any questions, sir?
Yep, thanks, Amanda. I didn't see in here, and I don't remember if we did this or not. Did you put in, or is there a request for a couple of additional livestock marketing folks that sit around at the sale barns? We did that last year, right?
Right, it was put in last year, but the governor did not sign that.
Got it.
He vetoed that.
Got it. 2? Was it 2?
2.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the committee? Okay. Thanks, Ag.
Thank
Next and last is corrections. Morning, Trevor.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Whenever you want to get started, we're ready.
Good morning. My name is Trevor Foley, Acting Director for the Missouri Department of Corrections. Thank you for the chance to be here this morning, and we'll start rolling through the books unless you...
For our new member, do you need any explanation about what the Department of Corrections does? No, I'll take his silence as a no. Thank you.
No, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
for the opportunity.
New member, thank you.
Quick question for clarification.
Sure.
I understand you wanted governor court changes and new decision items?
Correct.
We have several court changes throughout the book that we have every year as we reallocate staff across our sections. Governor approved all those. Did
Skip
you-
them. Skip those. Yep.
With that, then we'll just be hitting the new decision items.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Susan Pulliam. I'm the Director of Budget and Finance for the Department of Corrections. We'll start in Book 1, Page 1, NDI for the COLA. The department already has a retention pay plan, so the department will get the 1%.
Yeah, you guys were ahead of the game.
That is all the NDIs in Book 1. On to Book 2. Page 130 is a new decision item recommended by the governor. This is a maximum security staff stipend. It is a $1 per hour stipend for staff working in maximum security prisons. Page,
Yeah, Senator
Not allowed to insert myself, but
Senator Fitz.
does this include the Fulton State Hospital?
I'm sorry.
Fulton State Hospital is a DMH
Mental, okay, it's
facility.
DMH,
This would
okay,
be
all right.
corrections.
Just trying to wrap
that's
my
a
mind around
That's
it.
a different department. Yeah.
Thanks for the clarity.
Yeah, you bet.
Page 135 is a new decision item recommended by the governor. It is a restrictive housing stipend of $1.50 per hour for staff working in restrictive housing areas.
So can I ask real quick, the changes that we've made on the pay plan specific to you all in the last couple of years, are we doing better on our retention at your facilities? Yes?
Yes.
Considerably, like notably?
We
Slightly.
We have cut our vacancy rate in corrections officer ones almost in half from our historic high water mark, which was less than 3 years ago.
Good.
So while we still are struggling with staff, we have approximately 960 CO1 vacancies right now. Never thought, that's not a good position.
Right.
But considering where we've been in the past, we continue to make progress. We've net gained another 250 officers in the last 12 months.
You think these dollar stipends at a couple of these specific areas are going to be helpful?
I do. I mean, I'll be honest, if we could get massive broad-based pay increases for all our staff.
Massive,
that would
broad-based?
be wonderful.
That's a quote.
But that's not likely, given that anything like that for our staff, because of the number of them, is a
Right.
big number. We're trying to target our resources where we have the biggest need. We're trying to learn from what we did with shift differential a couple of years ago. That expansion had a huge impact on our operations. For the first time anyone can remember, we had vacancies on day shift. We had tenured staff bidding into back shift posts. If we can do the same thing with our maximum security institutions, which is where our biggest vacancy rates are and our highest incidences of critical incidents, and do the same thing with our restrictive housing units, which is essentially prison within prison. That's where disciplinary issues go within a prison. So they're also very challenging environments. You put a little stipend behind that, and hopefully that we can start to build on the same effect. Last year, we spent about $54 million department-wide on overtime. Probably about, full-time equivalent, probably about 900. That's back of the envelope math, but
Page 147 is a new decision item recommended by the governor for an electronic offender out count. This is $816,000. This is a device used for offenders going on out count for medical, court, or hospital out counts. And that is the last new decision item in Book 2.
Senator Boyd. Let's not ask other departments questions while we got the Department of Corrections up here.
Book 3, page 312, is a new decision item recommended by the governor. This is for 2 contract compliance specialists. This is a request for spending authority for 2 reimbursable contract monitors. The money will go back into GR. Page 322 is a new decision item recommended by the governor for the healthcare contract increase. Page 325 is a new decision item for MAT expansion. This is opioid funds. This is a department is taking a aggressive expansion in the medicated assisted treatment in our department. Page 338 is a new decision item for substance use contract increase. This is a GR amount of 1.535790 million, and the other part, 1.9 million, is opioid funds. The difference represents a 3% contractual increase, as well as the increase in bed utilization we expect. Page 349 is the NDI recommended by the governor for toxicology lab supplies. This is a contractual supply increase for supplies in our tox lab. Takes us to page 376, which is a new decision item recommended by the governor for an increase in spending authority for Missouri Vocational Enterprises. Page 387 is a new decision item recommended by the governor for a debt offset escrow release. This is a request to transfer additional funds into the inmate fund from the debt offset escrow. Takes us to page 423, which is a new decision item recommended by the governor. This is our low-risk automation. This is just a contractual amount. We are requesting an increase in spending authority. And that takes us to one more, page 460. Offender communication monitoring. This is a new decision item recommended by the governor. This is a result of an FCC ruling that went into effect on January 1st, where the permanent rate can no longer include the costs for security services charged to friends and family.
So historically, offender communication services contracts, which is phone and tablet services, they're bid on a per minute rate. As part of that rate, vendors provide security-related services to the department, like phone call monitoring, call storage and recording. They're used in investigative purposes, forensic analysis of cell phones, drug dogs, all kinds of security add-on services. The FCC issued a ruling last fall, took effect in November, and the compliance date was January 1, that capped the phone rates and prohibited outside security services from being procured through those contracts. So, took effect January 1 or upon the expiration of your existing contract. Our contract expired December 31st of 2024. So we effectively had to comply immediately. So we would lose the ability to maintain all of those security services through that contract, so they have to be procured separately now. So this is a request to be able to keep those security services going, and the state's going to have to pay for them. There's 14 states that have signed on to a federal lawsuit that are challenging the rule, and then we're watching to see if the change in administration in Washington has any impact.
Are we one of those states?
We are.
No.
And then we're watching to see if the change of administration in Washington might alter the fate of the rule also.
Okay. Senator Black.
Thank you. I thought about this after you guys left the other day. MVE, I have people every now and then talk to me about what is provided through MVE, what do incarcerated people build, et cetera, like that. I'm sure you could tell me if I went online somewhere I could find it, but somebody bring me a range. I had somebody talk about Iowa building homes to me. And you're smiling, Trevor, you must already know that's in some facility in Iowa they build some form of homes, and then they're used for economic development in places where I live to put them up.
We actually examined MVE building tiny houses for a very similar purpose. We had a little problem with our Sallyport entrances, being able to get the homes out of there. But we haven't given up. MVE is always looking for new industries to try to get in.
Thank
But
you.
we can certainly get you information on everything
Yeah.
they do.
I don't want to book this thick with everything, but some idea to remind myself what's there. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Senator Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Trevor, could you give me an update? And you don't even have to do it here. You can come by the office if you want. The project that we talked about from Vernon County, and then what's going on with the one that Joplin was chosen for. And you can do that if you can come by, or you can do it now, whatever you want to do.
Whatever works best for you, Senator.
Mr. Chair, can you give him a couple minutes to update me?
Of course.
Okay.
So the request for the 8th CSC in Vernon County was not recommended by the governor. The current project for the 7th one is underway. We are still struggling in Jasper County on finding a suitable site.
So you still don't have a location
We
there.
still do not have a location.
Are you going to continue to go down that path, or would there be a chance you could switch that over, or what do you
I
thinking?
would say that we are headed very close to that decision. We have a few more avenues we're pursuing to try to find land that would work. After that, we will probably have to revisit the project a little
Okay.
bit and may have to alter it some.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But we will be back in touch with the General Assembly before any changes to the project are made.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions from the committee? Doesn't appear so. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the info. And tomorrow, same time, same place, we've got public safety. So 8:30 tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.